Well, boys, today's tomorrow, and the new Call of Duty is just around the corner, and everyone is at it again, asking, is skill based matchmaking murdering your favorite game? Well, used to be favorite game until they started it to murder it themselves by turning it into a literal barbershop simulator. Because the new Call of Duty is coming out, Black Ops 6, and everyone has been saying, Treyarch did something different. Technically it is different, but also Activision had to put their finger in the pie. So, it's slightly different, but still more of the same Call of Duty, alright? You still have your cash shop that's not gonna carry you over because for some reason people spend like hundreds of dollars a year on cosmetics that don't carry over into the new Call of Duty. I don't get why people do that. That's the biggest scam I've ever heard in my life. People will literally spend hundreds of dollars on cosmetics that don't carry over, and in 5 years they won't even work because guess what? The game's gonna be full of hackers that will steal all of your data. Just like everyone trying to play Cold War right now is getting all their data stolen. But back to the main point of this video. Skill-based matchmaking is essentially you get a little hidden rank, which isn't so hidden because you see yourself getting stomped out in real time, that says you're within this range of skill, so we'll place you against this range of skill players. And usually it's alright, let's all be honest here. You're not actually getting worked every single game. Most games, yeah. But then they'll throw you a bone once in a while. They'll be like, hey man, we get it, you're drenched in sweat. We'll give you one lobby where we know you'll win against these people. And you do win against those people. And it feels amazing. And then the next game you get into, you're getting worked. And I mean worked. I mean worked over like a piece of dough. You're getting stomped out. And for some reason, you continue to play. Don't blame skill-based matchmaking. You continue to play because Call of Duty did a little research thing where they said, oh, well, we turned off skill-based matchmaking for some players, and as soon as they started getting worked over, they left the game. And as soon as they started doing really good, they also left the game. We don't know why they did that, but for some reason, they left the game, and they didn't come back for a little while, and that means we lost money. So guess what? We're keeping skill-based matchmaking on. There is no turn it off. No, we're not going to turn it off ever. We're keeping skill-based matchmaking. Now, obviously, I do have some qualms with the person investigating skill-based matchmaking also having a vested interest in it actually working. So, did the stats actually line up with players' behavior, or are they just sitting there making up any kind of stats that can make some kind of sense because they invested millions, if not billions of dollars into this skill-based matchmaking technology, and they rather it not go to waste? And most games, and even gamers, we all work off of a vibe check because sometimes we complain about things that may not even be that big of a problem, because CSGO at one point had this problem where people were like, oh my god, the tick rate's so bad because I can't hit my shots because of the tick rate. And so they put up a false tick rate whenever people pulled up the stats that made the tick rate go down, and everyone was like, oh wait, oh man, this is pretty good, I like this, they did great. And the devs were like, we didn't actually do anything, we just tricked you into thinking we did something. And everyone was like, oh yeah, the tick rate's so good now. Instead, they didn't do anything. So is this the same thing with SBMM? They're just saying, oh yeah, SBMM, really good. Everyone leaves whenever we turn it off. We don't know why. And in reality, no one probably left. And if anything, people probably played more. And they was just like, all right, we need to pull up any stats we can make up. All right, boys, we need some mathematicians out here to just make anything up for us. Just 25 pages. A solid 25. No one's going through all that. All right. And let's not act like Call of Duty doesn't have an actual interest in keeping SBMM, because if you are able to predict people's games and make sure they actually get a fun game and then a bad game and then another fun game, you can actually keep them in the game longer. But if they just keep getting good games where they're actually making progression in their actual skill, then guess what? Some people might get bored and be like, you know what, I'll play another game. Some people might just leave the game altogether. Other people will continue to play. But obviously, that's an unpredictable amount of people. But if you're able to be like, hey, you'll get this amount of good games, this amount of bad games, people already generally know, I'll get around this many good games today and I'll be able to just quit the other ones that I don't like. Because if you already know that you're gonna have at least 1 to 2 good games if you're gonna play for like an hour or two of Call of Duty, you're more likely to actually play Call of Duty longer. You're like, hey man, my last 2 games they went pretty well. Let me see if I can get one more game in. And if that game does well, you're gonna be like, maybe I might get another game in. And then that's when they hit you with the loss. And that's whenever you get off. Or you might be like, yo, that was some BS. I was put up against some high ranking pro players. You really get into your own head and you be like, I didn't mess up at all. I wasn't one playing bad at all. And then you might play another one, or you might get off. But at least Call of Duty can predict that you'll play those 3 games. You might play that 4th one. If you play that 4th one, you'll be like, oh man, that loss really stings. Let me play that 5th one. And if that 5th one goes well, maybe you might play a 6th one. But they also predict that you'll just get off after the 5th game because you have work in the morning. You see what I mean? Like, maybe you might play more games over the weekend without SBMM. But also, they can't predict if you will, but if they do have SBMM, they're able to more easily predict your playing habits. But obviously, we all know what the real issue with skill-based matchmaking is. Everyone, for some reason nowadays, wants to go pro, and even if they don't want to go pro, they don't want to look like total trash. Everyone acts like their skill is their fashion sense, right? If you're bad at Call of Duty, you have bad fashion, you're ugly, no lady will ever want you, you'll be an incel for the rest of your life, when in reality, you're just having fun on the game. That's literally the reason why we started playing Call of Duty and video games in general. We all just had fun sucking or winning. We didn't care. We were just like, yo, I'm having fun on the game. The game lost all its fun when it stopped being Soldier Man's 2077 going out there to kill other Soldier Man 3848. It stopped being fun whenever everyone's like, oh my god, that's FaZe Slay. That's Big Boy 23. you better watch out for Big Boy 23. He might get you. Because we all want to now be the boogeyman lurking in the corner, the predator on the whole map, the Dr. Disrespect of all of Call of Duty. For some reason, instead of gamers just gaming and having fun messing around on the game, unlike what they can do in real life, now they're treating the game like it's real life. You can't just mess up in sports because guess what? Everyone's gonna be like, yo, why'd you mess up? We were trying to win. You can't just mess up in school because everyone's gonna be like, why are you messing up? Are you not trying to get a good job? But the whole point of video games is to mess up, is to have fun, is to just sit there and be like, this is pretty wacky. Even if it sucks, I can just change it to something else. I have infinite amount of lives. Skill-based matchmaking came out of a necessity for people to feel like they're actually doing something. It didn't come out of the necessity of keeping retention. It didn't come out of the necessity of getting numbers up and make sure we get extra money. It came out of the necessity of, for some reason, everyone wants to be their own protagonist instead of just being like, yo, I'm playing a video game right now. Yo, chill, my guy. It's just a video game. Why are you yelling at me? For some reason, we don't shame the people that are out here slide canceling across the map enough, alright? Those people need to be shamed out of existence. Every time I see someone like, oh my god, I'm gonna do slide cancel, shoot. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're just tapping the control button while pressing forward on your stick. Like, you're not doing anything impressive at all. Now, these people are now also trying to edit this into montages like they're in phase. Like, the difference between, like, actual skill, like quick scoping and trick shotting, was you actually had to have skill, talent, patience. You actually had to practice that. Tap shot, you're literally just spamming the crouch button, spamming the sprint button, and just holding forward. Like, this wasn't like a weird trick glitch. Like, you're just doing what the game is designed to do. Like, boys, I think we all have fond memories of playing games for the first time and absolutely getting worked over, alright? We weren't good at all. We were all trash. And we were like, yo, I am so happy to be this garbage at the game. I love being this bad at the game. Because at the end of the day, we just enjoyed the game in general. And then as we progressively got slightly bit better, the toxicity got slightly bit worse. But also at the same time, we became more toxic. And it also became more fun. But as the game progressively became more and more safe, and we weren't able to be more and more toxic, the only thing we could do to be toxic is being better than the other person in the game. And look at where we're at now, boys. Everyone has become a pro player so they can hopefully type in all chat to the other team and say, hey, I'm better than you. Because they can't talk shit because you're not allowed to speak to the other team. The other team, they might be they might be a little too sensitive. They might cry off the game if you do that. But boys, I think at the end of the day, we all need to realize we need to have some more fun whenever we're playing our games. Then we all forget that the games are fun at the end of the day. Unless you're playing Call of Duty, then obviously they're trying to make the games as frustrating but also slightly fun as possible just to squeeze every bit of dollars out of you, because for some reason a multi-billion-dollar company, Activision Blizzard, really needs your money. They need it today. And you know what? I think at the end of the day, if Activision Blizzard gets scammed out of all their money, I think that's a noble good. Just like how this person was scamming Spotify and Apple Music and even YouTube Music out of money. Click this video right here to find out how did he almost get away with this scam. But other than that, boys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.